What is going on, everybody? We are going to be climbing the puzzles. We're going to be going for a hot minute, as they say. Well, with that being said, here we go. And the climb starts. All right, this is a simple smother mate tactic. This knight jumping to h3 will be a double check. And then we can put the queen on g1, forcing them to take with the rook, not the king, because it's covered by the knight. And then we can jump the knight back to f2 for the smother. That was worth an easy 20. All right, from here, what do we got? We have, looks like it's just going to be a checkmate with queen to c2. All right, we are white. If we put our king to g6, we're safe from any checks, and there's no way for them to prevent checkmate with the rook in the corner. And they can kamikaze their rook, but that's not going to slow them down. All right, this one. What's this one going to be? All right, looks like it's going to be check with the queen on h4. They're going to probably protect it with their queen, but then we can jump the knight to f2, discovering the attack on their queen with the bishop. Just want to make sure there's nothing else I'm missing. Yeah, that's what we're going to go with. All right, so what do we got here? We have, looks like it's going to be a checkmate, and what is that, 3? First, it's check with the rook, since it's protected by the pawn. Then we can come in with the check on g1. And then we can come down with our rook on f4 for the checkmate. It's all 19 points instead of 20 because I'm sitting here talking. All right, we got a battery on f. We're going to come through, take out the pawn on f2, check, kick the king to the corner, and then they only have one defense on the back row, so we can use our battery double up. All right, what do we have here? We got a diagonal battery with our bishop, so it should be as easy as check with the queen. King's got to go g8, and then we can take the pawn with our rook, hitting the king and queen at the same time. Since there's no checkmate, it's just going to be simply taking the queen, I believe. And we can check and take the bishop too, I guess. He wants to keep going with it. All right. This is going to be all about opposition. Yay. All right, what do we have here? We can't push the pawn. Can't back away from the pawn because they would grab it. So our first move is going to be running up. It's going to force them to come down to h2. And then we should be able to go to g4. We'll take their first pawn. They'll capture our pawn, and then we'll beat them to the other set of pawns on the d file, looks like. And what have we got here? Looks like it's going to be check with the knight, kicking the king to d1. And then we'll have a double check with bishop take pawn on b3, forcing the king to c1, and then rook to d1 should finish the job. All right, what do we got here? Same thing, battery. We got to kick the king away from the knight. We got to kick it to g1 by going queen e2 first. And then since you only have one protection, the dark squared bishop, we can use our battery to double up. Why does this say I got one wrong? I didn't get one wrong. Check that shit. Check the stream. I didn't get shit wrong. All right, what we got here? It's going to be check with the queen on a5. And then we can pick up the bishop. Yeah, double up. Got a battery again. Kick the king to the corner with queen f7. Little easy as 1-2. Ooh. What do we have here? It's going to be queen to d4, attacking the king on the diagonal. They got two pieces to block. They can kamikaze the bishop on c3 and the rook on b2. And I can capture the rook since it's protected by the knight on d3. All right, it's going to be knight fork on c7, forking the rook, but we do better. Once the king goes to f8, then we checkmate with rook d8. This one's nice. It's a queen to f2 check, kind of crossover, hit the king, kick it to the corner, and then we go queen e1 check. They throw the queen in, kamikaze on f1. We'll scoop up that bad boy, and that'll be checkmate. What do we got here? All right, well, the thing is, we can't take the knight with the knight because then we get checkmated, rook h8. So I'm thinking we take the knight with the queen. They'll probably take our knight with the bishop, but we recapture the bishop with our bishop. And then when the rook comes in for check on h8, we can move the king to f7. And it will get our rook in the corner. But we have a threat. No threat of checkmate. That's gonna be it, though. It's definitely gonna be it. But we're gonna lose the rook, though. I mean, I guess we'll have queen 2 bishop versus 2 rook bishop, so I guess it works. I mean, I was right, but I figured I'd have something better than that, right? All right, what do we have here? It's gonna be rook h1 check, king go g3, knight to e4 check, kicks the king to f3, and then we can bring the rook back to f1, checking the king, and then we scoop up the rook on f8. Nami. All right, this one's gonna be easy peasy lemon squeezy. Queen b3 check. They pushed a pawn to d5, gobbled a pawn, and they pushed the bishop to e6, and then gobble that up too. I'm wondering. I'm wondering if it's knight to g4. No, because the queen's hitting it. Is it just... Wow, they got a good one on me. Yeah, I think I just have a blindness on this one. All right, let's look at all the options. Knight take bishop. Knight take bishop, recapture with pawn. Okay, that's it. Duh. Knight take light squared bishop, right? When they recapture with the pawn, then... No? Okay. Knight take knight. Once they recapture, then my queen goes to e5, checking the king, and then I pick up the rook in the corner. Man, can't believe I didn't see that one sooner. Oh, this is a no-brainer over here. Simply check. What do we have here? Oh, the bishop b7, checking on the light squared diagonal. They have nowhere to run to, so all they can do is block with the c pawn. 1100, so we've done 300. We got 900 more to go. We're about a quarter of the way through, but things are definitely going to start slowing down. All right, simplest back row. Rook to e1. Since our queen covers the h2 escape square. This one's simply going to be queen to h8. I'm thinking the first thing I'm looking at is the knight on a4 takes the dark squared bishop with check. King can't run since all squares are covered by knights, so they got to recapture the pawn. Once it's recaptured with the pawn, then I can put my queen on c4 with check. And then the king would run to d7. And then I have queen c7 checkmate. And if they wanted to block with the bishop first, they could go about doing that as well. But if they did that, then it would just be checkmate right there, bada bing. They took the first option. All right, this one's simply queen to h2, checkmate. All right, since the knight is technically attacking us, we can these kind of puzzles right here where your queen's in jeopardy but you're attacking someone else's queen. The trick is looking at after you capture what else are you jeopardizing? You know what I'm saying? So we're not really jeopardizing anything because the pawn taking the queen would kind of just be a deadbeat. So in that case, we got to look elsewhere. Let's just see what happens. Pawn take queen, knight take queen, and then I got rook take knight. So I guess I do get away with a knight. So that would leave 2 rook bishop versus 2 rook bishop knight. I think that's probably going to be it. I don't want to get the first one wrong, so just checking out a couple more things. Queen take rook, bishop take rook. Nah, that's got to be it. Too bad that pawn can't take the other pawn with check, so it's just going to be grabbing the knight. All right, what do we got here? Well, it's going to be bishop d4 checks. The only thing they got to block with is the rook and the pawn. If they block with the pawn, then queen take pawn, checkmate. If they block with the rook, take that first. It's simply forking. Or not, sorry, not forking. Pinning. There we go. Pinning. Bishop to d6 prevents the rook from boogieing. Once they're probably going to push the pawn down where the bishop is, but it don't matter because when I take the rook, it comes with check, which will give me time to kill the pawn. Pawn, pawn capture pawn, check. And that would be checkmate. Simply just bishop take bishop, knight take bishop, queen take knight, and that's that. King's on a light square, so the only thing that they can check with after is queen, and everything is pretty protected. The only thing that would be vulnerable is the dark squared bishop on c1. They do have a check that does both, so I'm guessing after bishop take bishop, knight take bishop, queen take knight, their queen will check our king on c4. But that's when we can come back and block the check with our queen, which puts them in check so they won't have time to take a bishop. Booyah. Am I good or am I fucking good? That's what I thought. All right, this is bamboozles. Simply queen, check corner, king goes c2. King goes c2. And I gotta check again on b2. King goes either d1 or d3. Where's the trick here? Just getting the bishop. Check. Check. Or might actually, the second check doesn't have to be on B2. It could be on A2. I mean, the first check could technically be on B4. But if I check on B4, then I'm out of checks because the king can go C1. And I can't check on B2 because the queen. So, yeah, it's going to have to be check on A1. King goes C2. And the trick here is, do we check on B2 or A2? Well, I can't check on A2 because the king would then be able to go to D3, and then I'm out of checks. So it's going to be B2. If the king goes D1, then I have B1 checkmate. And if the king goes D3, then I have queen B5 take the pawn with check. The king won't be able to go to either E3 or D2, and then I pick up the queen. Booyah right there. Hell yeah. Hey, DJ, bring that back. When I move, you move. Just like that. Summer style, get wild, old school, coming down in a different color whip, whip, whip. Picture perfect. You might want to take a flick, 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 flick. Call up Jazz, told to pop another bottle, man. Cause we ballin', man. Ghetto harmonizing, surprising, back it up. Shit, what is this one? Check on G8 or H8. They always got the exit though. It's not check with the bishop first. Check with the bishop first. That just gives them mobility with their queen or their knight. And if they recapture with the knight, then they'd be able to block with a linear check on the 8th with knight to f8. So I'm thinking, though, the first check might be queen g8 to be able to bring the rook to h8 for a linear battery. But when they block with the bishop on f8, oh, never mind. That's it. Okay, it is check in the corner. It's queen h8 check, forced to block with the dark square bishop on f8, and then I can come scoop up the knight with another check. And that puts me ahead on material, technically. And then they'd be forced to block again. Then I could always bring the rook on the back rank. $400 down. 8 more to go. Man, maybe I bit off more than I could chew on this one. All the way to 2,000. I guess I gotta stick with it, right? All right. Oh, jeez, what did we do here? Is it... Is it knight take pawn? Hitting the queen. Queen's got a boogie, and then I got bishop take f2, check and get the rook. But knight on e4 after the capture don't have no protection. So if the queen comes in, and take a bit check. Well, I don't really see anything else. Everything is too clusterfucked. Ooh, that just does not feel right, though. Fuck it, YOLO. So what we got? Is it knight take pawn? Threatening to boogie with a discovery? Or is it just bishop take right away? Bishop come in, check. Once they boogie, I take the... And it's gotta be bishop, right? Because otherwise we're giving them too much leeway. If we take it with the knight, that gives them time to pull some bullshit like bishop e3. Okie doke. Alright, so rook take knight. Once recapture, fork with knight on d2. Any intermezzos? Nope. Alright. Oh, slick. I like this one. Knight captures c7, check. They have to recapture or run. If they recapture, then queen f7, check. If they recapture with the queen, then the king will be able to scoot to d8. If that's the case, then I got my dark square bishop that's on c1, bring that over at g5. Otherwise, if when I check they just scooch over, then I just got the immediate checkmate. Yeah, I'm gonna have to bring in the dark square bishop, looks like. They call me hot sauce. Queen c8 check. Has to block with the queen. Capture the queen. King takes queen, and then I got the fork with the knight on f7. It's called that chess vision. Chessel vision. All right, what do we got here? Simply checkmate. Knight to f3 is checkmate because the pawn on e2 is pinned. Boom. We're on a streak. 472 points. Straight, no mistakes. All right, pawn capture pawn. Bishop can't really take because then I get the queen. Anything else beforehand? Okay, no cream. Ooh. Ooh. Really? Did not count on that one. Pretty sure I can't take the bishop, because if I take the bishop, then queen take rook. Oh no, I got a sideways Alekhine with the 3. So do I take the bishop? I gotta take the bishop. I gotta take the bishop, because even if he's got queen d3 check, he's not winning much. I gotta take the bishop. I can't push out. Ooh-ee. Ooh-ah-ah, ting-ting, walla-walla-bing-bang. What is it? Queen take queen, pawn take queen, knight e3, check, forking? It has to be. The first thing I looked at was knight h2 check, but the king could always just go to f2. Best I would have is a perpetual doing that. Because I can't take the knight on g1. Because the king would still have the damn thing. That's the fork. Alright. Spark them if you get them. The only bad thing about doing this on mobile is I got no idea if anyone's watching. I'm just fucking talking to myself. Kind of just recording a video live with no takebacks. Alright, what do we do here? Okay, this one's easy. It's gonna be bishop g5 check. King's gotta go h5. Then I bring rook over to h3 check. King then goes to g6. And then rook h6 would be le checkmate. Uh-oh. Foobar. Looks like first check is going to be queen e7. And they would have the options of either of the light squares around them. If they go top light square, I got rook e6. If they go, well, I guess no point on calculating everything right now because it's just going to cost me points when the first move is guaranteed to be that. And then we can calculate once we find out what they do. All right, figured the fucking king was going to go there. All right, no, like the king went there. Queen to h4, protected by the pawn, check. Forces the king back to g6. Bring the rook up to e6, check. Forcing the king to f7. Then I can scooch the queen back to e7 check. King goes g8, and then queen e8 checkmate. Unless there's a faster one, which ain't no one got time for that. Man, I am fucking good. They didn't even make him go to g8 and queen e8. They just knew I was too much of a boss. My queen is in some trouble. Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Spark him if you got him. Fuck. I'm, in a pretty tight situation over here. Wait a minute, though. I was thinking queen take pawn on h5. If pawn take knight, bishop take pawn, but they got two pieces. They can either block with the knight or take with the rook. If they take with the rook, boom, bada bing, win. You know, that's a change of rook for knight. But if they block with the knight on f6, if they block with the knight on f6, what is it? Capture knight, king retake on f6, and then check with the queen. Oh, I know what this is. It's another one of those. My queen's under attack, so what we gotta do is this. We gotta attack the bishop. We get the bishop, they get our queen. I get their queen. Is that how it's gonna go? They take my knight. I think it's what I think. I think it's what it boils down to, ladies. Yeah, we're just—it's too tight. There's no escape. I mean, there's always queen take pawn, but then they get my knight for free. They can just take it with the pawn. Fuck. No, wasn't that either. What the fuck was it? It's not taking a rook. I'm just gonna start mass clicking everything now. What the fuck? I'm so stupid. I didn't even look at that one. Didn't even fucking look at that one. God damn it. All right, we're just getting sloppy now. Hey, we got a first round. We got a first round at 1300, halfway there. All right, stay strong. Let's kick it into high gear here. Check with the pawn. All right, we got our points back, man. I wanted to do better. I wanted to do so much better. All right, was it king f1 or king d2? Well, if I go king d2, bishop take. No, that's covered. I don't know if I go king e d2, then they could just go bishop e3 and follow me all the way up. If I go king f1, they're gonna have to do something about that queen. And the only squares that they have where the bishop would be covered would be queen's got to go to d4. If queen goes d4, I could jump my knight to f3. We don't gotta harass it anymore, right? Can't trap it. Man, I'm still sour. Still sour over getting one wrong. Okay, on to the next. Rook take rook. Pawn take rook. Queen take knight. White, what do we got? Okay, it's going to be queen f8 check, king goes h5, pawn push g4 check, king goes h4, queen h6 checkmate. I forgot the bishop. The bishop can technically block. You just screw up that motherfucker too. f8 check. They can kamikaze the queen, but most likely they're going to block with the rook. Then we go queen g4 check. If the knight blocks, we kill the rook first. No. If we kill the rook first, then the... Oh, the knight can't recapture, be pinned. Okay. All right. Bishop f4 check. King dips to d1. Rook take rook on e1. King captures rook on e1. And then knight c2 with the fork. Are you fucking smoking me? I guess there was no need for the bishop back to push back. Redundant. Okay. I might stop here on Leet 1337 just because I'm Leet. No. Okay, if I push up the pawn to e4, if bishop takes knight, pawn takes bishop. If bishop takes bishop, pawn takes knight. And if they want to save their bishop, pawn takes rook. So I'm going to end up with an extra piece if I push up the pawn. And queen takes queen first. Queen takes queen. Yeah, and then I end up getting the bishop. This one's going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy. Knight g5, threatening queen h7. Let's look at the threats. And we just fork the king and queen now. All right. We got to take that pawn right away. Take the pawn, king capture, 1-1, 2-2, 3-3. I got the promotion comes with check. Winner. Rook b2 check. Rook a6 checkmate. All right, we're going to have to put the rook on g7 somewhere else on the g file, threatening to slide to h for checkmate. Our bishop's hanging, so it's probably going to have to go on g5. And simply queen g6 checkmate. Oh no, they got the corner. But then just take the pawn as checkmate. lot going on over here. A whole lot going on over here. Okay. I think I lose my chance to get in to the king if I don't take the bishop first. Because if they take my rook, that's all good. I could just recapture the bishop, no problem. Fucking A. So how am I supposed to get to the king then? Man, oh man. Hold on. Yeah, pawn recapture. And then bishop. Yeah, because I can't take it with the rook. Because then they got the promotion. What is it? It's got to be bishop a6, right? Bishop f1 pins the queen to the king. But I would lose my rook. And I can't try to get any bonus points. Like, I can't utilize that rook with, like, a kamikaze at first because it don't come with check. Simple checkmate. Rook to g1, pinning the queen to the king. If they try something fancy like bringing the rook down to f1, I just kill the queen first. That comes with check. Once they recapture, then get the rook. Oh, this is a beautiful one. I don't know how I see these things so fast. Knight f6 check. Bishop can't capture because it's pinned with the queen. Can't escape on the left to d7, so the king's going to go to f8. Once the king goes f8, my queen sacrifices on h6, taking the pawn. Check. They have to take with the rook. Once they take with the rook, then my bishop on c1 comes through and recaptures for checkmate. Bamboozled. I think this one is going to be bishop to g4. There it is. 1 second, y'all. It's going to be bishop g4. Trapping the queen. First instinct was knight to f4. Take the knight. We could always throw in a check with knight take h3, but that's a dead end because the king could just go to the corner. Queen take pawn on h3, check. Regardless of where the king goes, move my rook on f6 to e6. Get the queen. It's going to be take the first pawn. He pushes h7, rook h3, pawn promote, kill pawn, and then march my own. I don't think it's needed yet. I should just probably march. Because if I go rook h3 now, he could always just go king f5. And those past connected pawns are going to outdo my rook. Put some distance between us. Oh my god, I should have waited. I'm so stupid. I should have waited for him to fucking promote. So dumb. So fucking dumb. How you get so good? Rook take pawn check. If king take, then check on a4. Ah, sneaky, sneaky. I like it. Basically, queen take rook, queen capture, knight take bishop, check, knight take queen. Knight kamikaze on g3, check, pawn recapture, then we slide over the queen to the h file. And then the queen always comes in to say hello. He said hello to my little friend. It's okay. It's okay, because I reloaded. You know what I fucking mean? Yeah? Alright. Ooh. Hold up. My brain hurts now. It's not queen to h1 the corner, because then king e2 scoochie scoochie loosey hoochie boochie. So it's probably going to be queen d1 check. Has to block with the queen. And then I can Put my bishop on g2. Try to peel the king away from the queen. Fucking smooth. I'm as cold as ice. Queen corner a8, check. King goes d7. And then rook d1. I definitely don't want to leave protection. Kamikaze. Rook take pawn. Check. King capture. Queen h3 check. It's a simple fork since the pawn on b5 is pinned. Simple check, sacrifice queen, move over rook. 1600s, that's 800 down. 4 more to go. 2/3 of the way through. Home stretch, motherfucker. It's simply just going to be bishop take knight. Hold up. Hold up. I was about to take it with the rook, but we could also take it with the queen. If I take it with the queen, oh. Let's see what the fuck. What's the difference? What's the difference? I think if I take it with the rook, that's better because that's just helping me further along with getting my pieces like a rook battery on the F. But if I take with the queen, that is already a battery aiming at the F2 pawn. Choices, choices. I don't know if I got to take him with the queen. That was pure guess, just for the record. All right, bishop take knight. Once that happens, pawn captures pawn on e5. And just a heads up, like when I'm playing, like this is how fast. Like when I'm seeing these patterns this fast, think of it. When I'm playing a game, that's how fast, tactics pop up. Okay, he's threatening checkmate. Can't stop it because he's threatening checkmate on g2 with the queen and h1. So I got to come in hard. So simple. I could have thought that myself. Check it out, though. I gotta figure out a way to check and force the queen trade. Alright, right here will do it. So, check, force the queen trade. After the recapture, my pawn's gonna run away faster than he can catch. Okay, we just got the corner Bowski. Take the knight, he's got to recapture the queen. Then I can push the d pawn to d4, hitting the bishop and the queen at the same time. Alright, queen take queen, king recapture, and then I push the f pawn, hitting the knight. Or do I just hit the f pawn right away? Not queen. No? Oh, I'm so dumb. That's blind. Blindness, I tell you. Ah. Yeah, sorry. Just kind of copped out on you. I wasn't really explaining shit right there. All right, it's gonna be rucksack. Eh. Now I take out the queen or the rook. Or do we take the f pawn? Oh. It's gonna be queen, definitely. $1,700. Here we go. Bishop b2, hitting the queen. Do we go for the safe square? Do we go for g5? Oh, looks like another simple one. 250 to go. 250 to go. Queen take rook. Check. Do we take rook first? Rook take rook. Queen take rook. Rook from e1 to f1? Rook sack. Queen h4 check, king goes g6, and then queen h5. Looks about right. It's going to be pawn push b5 and bishop e6. I just got to figure out which one's first. If I go b5 first, then queen could get out on d5, and then if I try the bishop on e6, then the queen would be able to come in on c6 with check. So that's why I'm thinking it's going to be bishop first. Bishop first, that kicks the queen over to a4. Then I push b5. Wait a minute. b5 is queen. Has to come down. What was it? Pawn up and then bishop back to d7? I didn't think it was that long. That's why I stopped calculating. Yes. Wow. It was. Sacrifice. Rook. Slide rook to corner. Nice little smother mate. Double check. Queen g1. Rook's got to capture. Knight f2 mate. Check, 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 check. Looks like we're going to have some Bartle do over here. Hold up. Wow. Gonna be queen b1. Throw everything you got at me, but ain't gonna be enough. queen here. Nice. So stupid. Yeah, I really am stupid. What is this? Just massive clicking everything. Losing major points from not talking. Or talking too much. I would lose my queen if I take that bishop. $70 more points. I think it's just going to be king g7. No. Ah. I think it's going to be rook to g1. What a fucking move. If king takes pawn, rook h1 seals the deal. I just don't see it. Knight g4 is screaming out at me, but I don't got the finisher. If he take pawn, it's going to be wrong. Or not. 55 more. It's going to be trapping the queen. Bishop d3. Bishop d3 does not work. Because then... Wait, it might. Yeah, it does. No. Bishop d3 because then... Is it bishop d3 or is it fucking g4? Come on, baby, home stretch. It was fucking G. Son of a motherfucker. Pawn promote. If rook take, king take. I gotta go down there anyway, so I think it's just I gotta push A. By pushing A6. I figured I had to fucking... I still got a point for that, but... Man. I'm about done with these, bro. About done with these, bro. About done getting it in, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think this is where Bartle do happens. Yeah, buddy. Are you kidding me? What the fuck? Not happy. Black with the bishop. Rook come in. H8. What's fucking that? God damn it. I suck. Well, I've been holding out. $24 more. I think it's gonna be fucking throwing a check in with the rook. E3 to E1. Oh, I'm in check. $19.98, y'all. There it is, ladies. There it fucking is. Man, I choked at the end. Got fucking all of them wrong. But I have no idea if a single person logged in to watch. But if you did, I appreciate you. And even if you watch us after the fact, I still appreciate you. And if you've never seen this and you won't ever see this, I still appreciate you. But it don't matter because you'll never hear that. I will see you guys on the next videos. The next videos. Tschüss. Ja, du sprachst sie Deutsch? Ja, ich spreche sie Deutsch sehr, sehr gut. Auf Wiedersehen.